All right. Hey, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak, Wadash, and double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and as well as the men toward them, and peace and blessings to all you Akim out there who pushing his word with truth and sincerity, and as well as to all you believers out there who believe in our gospel. And it's the brother Quara Abad from the GMS Houston camp. And I want to go into another lesson, and Lord willing, it to be edifying. And I wish I was on my laptop for this one because I wanted to, as I was speaking on this topic, I wanted to kind of give proof of, what I'm saying. I want to go to different YouTube pages of these different camps that I'm going to mention here, right? But nevertheless, what I want to talk about in this lesson is how, just kind of doing a little meditating. And when you look around into this Israelite awakening, you see a lot of different camps that's out there, right? Especially the premier camps such as Great Millstone, the IUICs of the world, ISUPK. You once had Sakari. Now you got, the Genesis, who, are offshoots from Sakari. You have GOCC. You have Watchmen for Israel, so on and so forth. And really consider this as I make this statement, right? But when you look into these other camps, first I'm going to say this. It's the scriptures say that in the end, right? And we specifically talking about in the age that we living in, Babylon the Great, that you was going to have, in the scripture I'm thinking about is Revelation 18, how it says you was going to have apostles and prophets. And we know the many scriptures, like, for example, in Matthew 25, Yahweh Shai said, each man got to do his own work. So you're going to have multiple prophets, and each man have to do his own work, his own lessons, his own videos, his own teachings, right? So on and so forth. Now, getting to the point. When you look into these or at these other camps, and it shouldn't be a long lesson, but if you want to consider yourself following the teachers of the Lord, right, and you feel like you following the Lord's prophets, then this is a good point to focus in on, because we have to base that what men are doing on the earth, is it based off what the scripture said or not? But getting to the point when you look at these other camps, and that's why I wish I had recorded this on my laptop so I can show different pages. But when you look at these other camps, each man in the camp is not required to do the work. Again, when you look at these other camps, each man in the camp is not required to do the work. For example, IUIC. When you go to IUIC, no matter what page it is or what camp it is, it's only the leaders or elders of that particular camp in whatever state that get to teach, that get to do videos, that get to do live shows. You see? Really consider this. Really think about this. When you look at IUIC videos, it's not each man putting up his own work. It's not each member, and it's for all camps. Each member, each man in every camp really don't even have a personal YouTube page. Now, they might have a personal YouTube page to watch videos, but you don't see many members in these other camps daily doing their own lessons. No, they just watch and listen to what the elders or leadership in their, certain camp, listen to their videos that the elders put up. And really consider that. Think about ISUPK. All you see is Captain Tazariak, General Yohana, and the other elders. When they do their weekly live shows, you don't see each man out there teaching weekly, teaching daily, going into breakdowns, going into history, going into edification, going into prophecy. You really don't see that. Even when you go to Sakari, yeah, they have many members. Yeah, and look, first, and I'm not going to take nothing from these camps, because they do have their part. They here to put the sinews and the flesh and the bones on Jake, but they ain't here to put the breath on Jake or in Jake. You see? That's for the true prophets to do. So they do have the portion of letting our people know the basics, right? But the thing is that you have, and yes, you have camps who go out to camp, and you have multiple members at camp. For example, like Watchmen for Israel. But the thing about it, you only see the same people teaching. Naquam, what's the dude name? Amos. You only see the same people teaching. Even Watchmen for Israel, yeah, they do weekly videos, but it's the same men. It's the same men. You see? Matter of fact, let me get a quick precept, and I'm going to get some thoughts off. But the precept, I really had one precept, but now something else hit me. All right? Something else hit me that Yahweh Shai said. But the precept that I had planned was what Apostle Paul said, how we supposed to bring in other men who is worthy of teaching. We'll get that, but let's get this real quick, what came to mind. Laborers. Let's get this. This is Matthew chapter 9, right? This Matthew 9. And I'm going to start at verse 37. This is Yahweh Shai. This is Matthew 9 and 37. It says, Then said he unto his disciples, The harvest truly is plenteous, but the laborers are few. So it's a lot of work that need to be done. It's a lot of teaching that need to go out, but it's not many teachers. This is what Yahweh Shai is saying. There's not many men out there pushing the word. It's a lot of Israelites that need to hear his word, man. But you don't have many teachers. And again, when you really think about that, though you have many members in a lot of these camps, a lot of men in a lot of these camps, but everybody ain't teaching. Everybody ain't doing their work. They just there listening to the leadership. You see? Think about that. Only the leaders, only the elders are in each camp is doing the work. So when it all boils down to it, and think about it, when judgment come, ain't no man gonna have to understand. All you gonna be able to say is, well, I listened to the elders. I went to the school every Friday to Saturday, or Saturday, Sabbath. No, the Lord requiring you to do the work. You know enough. Let's finish reading this. This is Matthew 9 and 37. Then said he unto his disciples, The harvest truly is plenteous, but the laborers are few. Pray ye therefore the Lord of the harvest, that he will send forth laborers into his harvest, man. So the point is, we should be out there looking for other men to come in and help us push this work out, to do this work, to help us labor. That's the whole point of being a teacher, man. So you can raise others up to push this word also. But that's to show that the leaders of these other groups, they don't really got it, because they're not properly training their men. They're not properly preparing their men to be teachers, to be leaders, to defend the gospel, because they don't know it themselves. You see? Men supposed to come in, grow, learn a doctrine, and go out into the earth and teach and give the example to others, man, on how to, first the doctrine and how to live. These other camps, you just have a lot of followers, man. But let me see what this says in the NLT. I'm interested. This is Matthew 9. Let's see. And 37 in the NLT. He said to his disciples, The harvest is great, but the workers are few. So pray to the Lord who is in charge of the harvest. Ask him to send more workers into his field. So as leaders of camps and men in camps, and as men who call ourselves prophets, we should be going out to push this word, to bring in more brothers to help us with the work. But as you see, again, going back to it, that's to show you signs that according to the prophecies on what the prophets will be doing in the last days, every camp don't fit the criteria. You see? For one, the scripture says that in the end they will be referred to as the apostles and prophets. Is one, not being biased, just being truthful. Is one group of men on the earth who they ain't self-proclaim themselves. People refer to them as the apostles. And they all agree on the same thing, and they're in the scriptures. Because you guys, people call Apostle Geno Jennings, but he's just one. And nobody agree with him. And then the men who they call apostles on this earth, just so happen that the men that follow them are referred to and serious about prophesying. And the thing is, each man do his own work. Just so happen that group on earth is called Great Millstone. Not being biased, just being truthful. Think about it. The Lord said at the end, in Revelation 18, he was going to reward the apostles and prophets. Right? Just to show that the men we are around this have to be the men. Because the Lord have us, and it's not us. It's all Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah, the spirit that he put on us, man. But we have been displaying as a group the traits that the prophets would be in the last days, man. Defending the names, defending Yahweh and Yahweh Shai, those names, on the doctrine's sake, the MOTB, so on and so forth. Serious about it, man. Everybody on one accord. Now look out into Israel. All groups ain't like that. Everybody not really doing the work but the leaders. That's not how the scripture said it was going to be in the last days, man. A few prophets and everybody else listen to them. Nope. Let's get this real quick. Because this was supposed to be going on. This 2 Timothy. I think it's 2 Timothy 2. And it's just some things I wanted to get off. I really wish I would have done this lesson on my computer just so I can kind of go to these camps' pages and show, even when you go to their pages, yeah, they have videos, but it's the same men. It's other men in there. It's other men in the camps. Each man will have his own personal page to do the post lessons on. And when you really think about it, that's true, man. The 2 Timothy 2, I'm going to start at verse 1. It says, "Thou therefore, my son, be strong in the grace that is in Mashiach Yahushua. And the things that thou hast heard of me among many witnesses, the same commit thou to faithful men." Check this out. "Who shall be able to teach others also." That's why we supposed to be here. This word that we heard, take it and digest it, learn it. And then from here on, as we learned it, we got to go out and push it and entrust the same word that was entrusted to us to faithful men, serious men who gonna go out and now start preaching as we have learned to preach from the men over us. That's the whole point, not just to get men in to say we got more bodies, right? The Passover, we went from 500 capacity last year to 700 capacity this year. You see? No, it's just not having numbers. We want to get quality over quantity. Come on, man. Jake be getting all animated, but quality over quantity, man. But again, anyway, let's read this again. "And the things that thou hast heard of me among many witnesses, the same commit thou to faithful men, who shall be able to teach others also." Now, we know every man in the prophet. Every man in the prophet, we get that. But the thing is, if you call yourself being in the camp, what you in the camp for? As a well-bodied man who could speak, see, walk, talk, do all this, hold signs, say kind and that's right. If you in the camp, why you not doing the work? All these other individual members in these camps, ask yourself, you've been in the camp all these years. Why is it just Bishop Nate the only one doing lessons, or Captain Cesare, Captain Katazar doing lessons, or right, Deacon and so on and so forth? Why is it just them? You know? And then you have some camps, even if they do go out to camp, it's just the camp. It's just Saturday camps. No work throughout the week. No lessons throughout the week. Chief Ephraim. The fuck is he doing? He just be popping up. You see? But we in this thing, man, to one, become teachers and push this word to find other teachers for the Lord, man. Not just to be here. And you know, because when the Lord come back, he going to see what each man done according to your work. Not what your elders did, man. Not what your leaders did. Not what you listened to at the school for the Sabbath class. Well, I went to every Sabbath class, right? But did you do anything? Did you push the word? That's why Yahweh Shai told that man in Matthew 25 with the one talent. The one talent, man, you know the very basics. You know the very basics. You could do something with that. But he ain't do nothing with it. You knew about the truth, but you ain't do nothing with it. That's for each man who called himself in a camp, a well-able man, but you ain't out there prophesying. You just here. The Lord ain't looking for niggas just to be here, man. You see? This 2 Timothy, still like it for the rant. I'm going to see what this says in the NLT. 2 Timothy 2:2. In the NLT, you have heard me teach things that have been confirmed by many reliable witnesses. Now teach these truths to other trustworthy people who will be able to pass them on to others. Come on, man. You see? But again, it lies upon, that's why, as of right now, since Yahweh Shai going, the nation of Israel truly lies upon the apostles and the prophets, as it's saying in Ephesians, the 2nd chapter. That's the temple. That's where the Lord dwell at, the apostles and prophets. And again, each man, you got to do your own work, man. You got to do your own work. What's the scripture? I'm ended off, I'm thinking of something. Not according as his work shall be. Let's get that, though. We could just get that. Let's get that. This Revelation 22. I'm thinking of another one, though. But we can get this as I mentioned it. This Yahweh Shai, Revelation 22:12. And behold, I come quickly, and my reward is with me to give every man according as his work shall be. And I don't think a lot of men in these camps really consider that. That they think that the Lord will reward them just for listening in. You see, no, you got to do stuff too. It says, according as his work shall be. So each man go get judged for what you done in this truth. And you ain't go better say, well, you know, in ISUBK, they ain't let us do videos. Right? Man, you better get to work for the Lord. But I'm going to end it right there. Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. I want to give all praise to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Chakwadash. And with that, shalom.